Alright guys, so today we're going to go in a slightly different direction. We're going to talk about this bundle that I feel pretty much gives you a hi-fi or high-res audio experience on the go. But I'm not talking about a pair of true wireless earbuds. Both products that I'm talking about here are both from iKKO. Now, if you've ever followed my channel or seen what I'm interested in when it comes to IEMs, the iKKO OH1s and the OH10s are two of my favorite IEMs. But they have released a new pair, which is the Asgard OH5s. This is a much higher tier IEM. But they've also released the iKKO, and I'm sure I'm saying this wrong, the Heimdall. Now, this is the ITB03, and basically this is a Bluetooth or wireless amplifier that's basically meant for you to be able to use your wired headphones or IEMs with your phone by using Bluetooth, but also still getting high-res audio. So we're going to talk about both of these products. Really, if you bought the bundle, it's not a cheap set, although the actual amp, which is the Heimdall, that one actually comes in retailing at $149, but right now on Amazon there is one of those little coupon boxes and you can pick it up for $119. But the Asgard OH5s are not a cheap pair of IEMs. They come in retailing at $489, but right now there's also a little coupon box you can check off and you can get them for $440. Still not cheap, but if you bought both of these together, that comes to about $560. So, you're still under $600, which is well under what some people just pay for headphones or just for a pair of IEMs alone. So let's really just talk about what both of these have to offer. Now, the Asgard is a pair of IEMs that is claiming to be the first to use a speaker-grade 12mm lithium magnesium diaphragm. So I was very curious to how that was going to sound. And the iKKO Heimdall is basically a solution for people wanting high-res audio or hi-fi audio, depending on how you use it on the go, because you're able to have LDAC playback. It also supports aptX low latency, aptX HD, and just regular aptX. So it supports a lot of the higher end Bluetooth codecs just by simply pairing this to your phone. Now, inside the box, the Heimdall comes with a USB-C to USB-A cable. This is how you charge the amp, but it also comes with a USB-C to USB-C connector. Now, this is how you would just directly plug it into your phone or your Nintendo Switch or the Steam Deck or anything that's using that USB-C port. And then it also comes with a USB-C to Lightning port. So if you're using an iPhone or an older iPad or whatever, you would just simply use that. And that way you're able to actually take advantage of the hi-fi setting that it has, because you can only use that in wired mode. But again, you can connect this via Bluetooth and you have high res with LDAC. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can use this device. Now, the Heimdall is also using a Qualcomm 5125 chip. It does have Bluetooth 5.0, so I wish it had a newer version of Bluetooth. It does have NFC pairing and it gets 8 hours on a single charge. So in a box this size, even though it's not large, I really wish that it had longer battery life, but it is using dual AK4377 DAC chips. So it really is trying to output a lot of power in this small device, so I kind of understand the battery life. But moving over to the Asgard OH5 IEMs, in the box, I was very impressed by its presentation. Once you open the box, you see the IEM sitting up top, but it has a little drawer that you pull out where it has 6 sets of foam ear tips, but also 6 sets of silicone ear tips. So you're not going to have any issue finding the right ear tip just right out of the box. It comes with one of the nicest leather cases that I've seen. I love the navy and red like two-tone look that it has. It also comes with a little clip that matches it if you want to, clip it to your bag or something like that. And then the cable that it comes with is a 4-strand, 24-core crystal, copper, and silver plated cable. It is using the 2-pin connector, which is pretty standard at this point. And then it also comes with 3.5mm, 2.5mm, and 4.4mm connections. So, you have those different adapters in there. So you have many different ways that you can use these IEMs depending on your amp or your device that you're going to plug into. And I like that they've included all of that. So moving a little bit closer to look at the OH5s, they are made from a combination of resin and metal. They definitely have a decent amount of weight to them. They do not feel like a cheap pair of IEMs, but I did find them to be very comfortable. So although they do have a little bit of weight, it wasn't anything that I found I needed to take out after a little bit of listening. You could easily leave them in as long as you need to. So now let's just talk about how all of this works. Now we're going to start with the Heimdall because that's kind of like the brains behind all of this. You simply can just Bluetooth pair it over to your phone or your tablet or laptop, whatever you're using, and it will send a Bluetooth signal and give you a lot of the higher end codecs that you can take advantage of, where you can plug in your wired headphones or IEMs. And in this case, we're using the Asgard OH5s, and it gives you plenty of power. It's basically a portable DAC that you don't actually have to have plugged into the device that you're using or where the audio is coming from. And also in other cases, you can use the Heimdall to plug into your car's aux input, and that way you can have this higher end Bluetooth codec just going straight into the auxiliary input. So you're getting better audio just out of your car using it that way. Now, the Heimdall itself has some different modes and settings inside of it that you can switch between, but within the settings, you have some different EQ settings that you can switch between. Now, they actually call them filters. I didn't notice much of a difference between one or the other. Now, it does explain that one is for this type of music and another is for this type of music, and really it's just trying to elevate the bass in one setting and maybe bring out the treble a little more in one setting. So it's just, again, it's just pre-built EQ settings that aren't making much of a difference, but it also has different modes that you can switch between. Now, by default, it's in the music mode, but you can also switch it into a gaming mode or a movie mode. Now, this is made to kind of cut down on latency, but I also did notice that it changed the EQ a little bit. It seemed to kind of brighten up the mids and the treble to kind of focus a little bit more on dialogue. And then it also has a HiFi mode. And like I said earlier, the only way you can actually take advantage of this is by plugging the Heimdall in to the device that the audio is coming out of. So you're going to have to use one of those USB cables. So do keep that in mind. If you just want true hi-fi audio, you're going to have to use it that way. Now, the OH5s themselves have an impedance level of 32 ohms. Really, this is an easy pair of IEMs to drive. You don't need an amp, but I don't think you would spend almost $500 on a pair of IEMs and not intend to plug it into an amp, because really that's how you're going to get the most out of the audio, and not just volume level. That's how you take advantage of having the bass, mids, and treble separated. That's how you have a brighter treble or a, much punchier bass. It's just giving it a lot more life than you just plugging straight into the source. But it is nice to know in a pinch, if all you have is your phone with a headphone jack, you can plug these straight into it. But the combination of the OH5s plugged in to the Heimdall, which is, again, having a Bluetooth source being transmitted over, sounds excellent. I was so impressed with the audio quality, but it is kind of surprising. I mean, again, because the OH1s and the OH10s are some of my favorite IEMs, I kind of expected the Asgard OH5s to have similar characteristics, and it really doesn't. The OH5s are not as bass heavy as the OH1s or the OH10s, and it seems to be that that's not the focus. It's trying to give you this like full, rich, textured sound, but not overdo it with anything. So like the bass is not loose, it's not overly done, and the treble doesn't hit this like bright or overly harsh, peak to it. It pushes them up, but it levels them off, if that makes any sense. So it seems like it's obviously not trying to be a flat or reference style IEM. It's trying to be dynamic, but it's also trying to still sound balanced. It doesn't sound as though like one frequency is trying to take over the other. So if you're somebody that's like an extreme bass head, this might not be the pair for you. Or if you're somebody that just likes an overly bright and harsh treble, it doesn't really check that box either. But it's weird in a way because you're still getting a massive amount of bass and this really nice, clean treble, and it all sounds very well mixed together. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's almost as though somebody is at a mixing board, and no matter what you're listening to, they're trying to give you as much as they can of everything, but still make it sound like it's meant to all mesh that way. So mids have it where the vocals sound slightly forward, the bass is slightly punchy, and the treble is slightly bright, but not overly done. And where this pair really shines is mixing that with the soundstage and the sound imaging. This is what it makes this pair excel to me, because not having anything overly done means it doesn't sound closed in. It doesn't sound like, you're having two large speakers or something just directly in your face. there is a really good amount of space. It sounds very open. It really does a good job of being able to tell where different sounds are coming from. So again, I think iKKO has done an excellent job of tuning these IEMs. You can tell that they're not just like slinging them down the conveyor belt at a factory and not really fine tuning these. So really my overall opinion on all of this is, if you are looking to get into IEMs or trying to dip your toes into that audiophile style equipment, this is a somewhat inexpensive way to do it. I mean, it is a little pricey because of the IEMs, but I think that these are a very well-rounded pair. Again, I do highly recommend checking out the OH1s and the OH10s if you're a bass head. If you're somebody that likes a little bit more treble, I recommend checking out some of the 10 HiFi pairs that are out there. So you have a lot of options out there, but I really think that the Heimdall is a great solution because so many devices are going away from the headphone jack and having that LDAC support, but also having the HiFi capabilities by just plugging them into your device. It is a really nice amp. It is giving you the 3.5mm and the 4.4mm connection on the Heimdall itself. So, you can take advantage of that both ways with the Asgard OH5s. So it seems like there's just a lot of versatility in both of these devices. So do I recommend both of these devices? It kind of depends. Again, the Heimdall I think is an excellent recommendation because I think it's going to take advantage of a lot of different devices you may have already when it comes to the headphone area, but also the sources that the audio is coming from. But the Asgard OH5s, although I find them to sound absolutely excellent, I still kind of lean towards the OH1s and the OH10s because I'm a bass head, and I didn't feel like I got that same experience out of the OH5s, but I do feel like I got a better overall listening experience out of them. So, again, it comes down to personal preference, but that's just my opinion on both the iKKO Asgard OH5s and the iKKO Heimdall, which technically is model ITB03. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.